Welcome to Pardon That Vine. My name is Chris Riccobono, and this is the world's most unbiased wine review forum. And today we have a very special show for two reasons. First of all, an interesting wine. Secondly, I'm going to do another show. I've only done one of these of how I taste wine and what I think is important, especially for people trying to get into wine. So the wine is the 2009 Syrah from Hawke's Bay, New Zealand. New Zealand is making some of the most interesting and exciting Syrahs on the planet. Many people, probably jaw just dropped right now, saying, what are you talking about? Syrah, New Zealand? I thought it was Pinot, Sauvignon Blanc. They are making some serious wines. They're not easy to find. There's not a lot of them coming to the States right now, but they are awesome. And most of them are being made, most of the great ones, in Hawke's Bay, in the Gimlet Gravels, which is a special soil. They actually formed an association for the Gimlet Gravels. Definitely worth checking out. There were some blind tastings done recently with some top Bordeaux versus wines from here, and most of these wines are under $40. There are obviously some higher end wines, but these are true value, and I think you can tell how excited I am about these. I'm actually, for my personal collection, I've been searching these out because, like I said, they're not easy to find. This is the Tioa 2009 Syrah, $24. So let's see what this brings, and we will start by kind of what I think is important in tasting wine. Obviously, first thing always is decanting the wine, even though I did not decant it today. That's the first thing. You know, any wine you pour, think of 30 minutes. Now, as you go up the ladder, especially younger wines, you know, there were wines when I was in Bordeaux, we were decanting for 24 hours and they were drinking beautifully. Sometimes I would, if I'm doing 24 hours, I wouldn't necessarily put it in a decanter, I would just open it. I can go on for hours about that. It's a pretty complex subject. Feel free to shoot me an email anytime you're going to open up a special wine. I'll give you my recommendation on how long to decant it. But let's get into the wine. So you decant it first. Very dark in color. Always look at the color. You know, see, it's usually going to be dark if it's a wine that like a Syrah or Cabernet or light. But it's nice just to assess the color. I would not worry about what's going on the side of the glass, which so many people think is important. I would not worry about smelling the cork, which is not important. But I would start to smell the wine. Big glass, very important. Swirl the wine. Getting like a candy fruit here, which actually scares me. I don't love that profile on the nose. But take your time, you know. You're going to look strange doing it if there are people standing around, but who cares? Just turn to the corner and you know, really take your time smelling the wine. Dark, bursting fruits, cherries, blackberries. More fruit driven. Not as much, you know, a lot of the wines from the Gimlet Gravels have a ton of spice and you know, earthy complexity on the aroma side. This does not. But that does not mean it's not going to taste good. Let's give it a try. Step 1, smell. Step 2, taste. Wow. That's a big wine, number one. Number two, wow, a lot of spiciness coming in at the very end, which is amazing. Because it was all fruit kind of on the finish, and now it's like someone poured cinnamon, nutmeg, and some other spices in my mouth. Let's talk about the wine first, and we'll talk about the steps of tasting. This wine is a nice wine. The mid-palate had just bursting fruits, you know, exploding, just like you're throwing blackberries, cherries, and all different types of fruits in your mouth. But I'm going to be critical because of the type of show we're doing here. I was looking for a little more texture, like a major, you know, chewing mouthfeel, and I didn't get that. However, the fruit was so vibrant that it didn't bother me. Then the finish was incredibly long, and it did not thin out at any point. And the tannins came in huge. As you can see my face, if you go to the videotape, you can see my face kind of just overwhelmed my my palate and my teeth and my gums and my mouth. But it was, it just had a really nice finish. I'm going to give it one more try, but this time let's talk through it. So step 1 was smelling it. Step 2 is tasting it and moving it around your mouth for 5-6 seconds. You're going to ruin your teeth. You're going to look strange. You're going to make weird noises, but it is so worth it. There's not one sip of wine that I don't move around my teeth just to bring out the flavors. So that's step 2. So important. Let's do that right now. There's something really cool going on here. It's like fruit intermixed with all these awesome spices. You know, from the thyme type spice to the cinnamon and nutmeg type spice, and it's like it's being poured into the fruit. It's really cool, and this is what I experience from gimlet gravels every single time. Not every time, but this is just this uniqueness and this what is going on here. It's very interesting. I like this wine a lot. I give this 92 plus points. Back to tasting, so the first thing is you're moving it around. Now while you're moving it around, you're looking for a few things. You're looking for, number 1, does it have what you're looking for? What I mean by that is if you're tasting a Cabernet, you're looking for fruit. And if you're tasting a, you know, that's mainly what this is where it gets a little complex. I don't want to confuse you, but you're looking for fruit, you're looking for some spicy and some earthiness. If you're tasting a Pinot Noir, you're looking for red fruits. If you're tasting a Brunello, you're looking for some cherries, but you're usually going to get a lot more earthiness. You know, Burgundy, you want the earthiness and the fruit. So it's kind of like I describe it as on a basic level, because I hate getting too complex when tasting wines because it takes the fun out of it, but it should be like the fruit category, the earthiness, minerality category, and then kind of the spicy smokiness category. And if you're tasting a South African wine, you're looking for spicy, smoky. If you're tasting a Napa Big Red Cabernet, you definitely want to make sure there's fruit there, and then you obviously want the secondary characteristics. So while you're tasting it, you're looking for those main things. Don't think, am I tasting toothpaste, am I tasting Windex, am I tasting this? Look for the main, you know, components. The other thing that's so important is mouthfeel. Is there texture? Is there complexity? Is there structure? Or is it just thin like drinking water? That is so important to so many good wines. So I'd say step 1 is smell. Step 2 is moving it around your mouth, looking for the fruit, minerality, spiciness. 3 is texture. 4 is, I kind of call it the tannin acidity line. You need acidity to balance out the fruit. And acidity is kind of like you'd think, like if you squeeze the lime in your mouth, it kind of gives you like a little burn. But it shouldn't be overwhelming, shouldn't be underwhelming, it should be perfect. And then the tannins are kind of what give you the structure and give you the longevity in a wine, and they shouldn't come in too early, they should come at the very end. So you shouldn't feel the tannins overwhelming you on the mid-palate, because then the wine isn't made correctly. You should come in on the end. That's why the 09 Bordeaux are so beautiful. It's just tons of fruit on the mid-palate and minerality, and it's so big, but the tannins are soft and they come in at the end. When you hear people describe them as silky, soft, sweet tannins. And then finally is the finish. And the finish is, to me, is like beyond important. And this finish was awesome, because this finish not only brought fruit, but then like it's like someone came out of nowhere and put spices in my mouth, and it just kept lasting and lasting. There's so many wines, and people don't pay attention to them, and when I'm with them and they say, what are you talking about this finish? And I'll say, drink this. Tell me what you taste right now. It's gone. And it's like you never tasted the wine, and it's a terrible, terrible quality and a sign of a poor wine. Anyway, I am out of breath talking about how to taste a wine. Think about these kind of 5 steps, breaking some of the steps up into 2 parts, and it will make wine a lot more fun. And also check out these Syrahs from New Zealand, from the Gimlet Gravels. Have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow. Thank you.